thing that's so interesting is that despite the fact that they're fools, they're still supposed to go on the adventure, and that they're capable of learning enough as a consequence of moving forward on the adventure so that they straighten themselves out across time.
You say, okay, so fine, you adopt a little responsibility for yourself and you can sleep with a clean conscience. What happens if you adopted full responsibility for yourself and then for your family? Lots of the people who are coming to talk to me say now, I've been really trying to put my family together. Like I've made that a goal. I'm trying to heal my family and bring it together, and it's working. So here's a story. I love this story, man. It just killed me.
Whenever you decide to try to become successful and decide to pursue your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations, you're going to make sure that you are determined and you are focused. And the best way to do that is to go out and find something that you are truly passionate about. You don't want to spend all the time and energy and effort onto something that you don't truly enjoy and something that you don't truly love with all of your heart. So why would you try to become successful in something in that area when you're just going to be miserable every single day and thinking about what you could be doing when you get off, or whatever the case may be? So if there's something that you truly love and you have a true passion for deep down in the bottom of your heart, you need to make sure that you are able to go out there and try to get it done. It doesn't mean that you will become successful, but you definitely need to make an effort in that area to try to become successful in the one thing that you truly love. Because if you don't, then you're going to be full of regret and you'll be so disappointed that you didn't even try, that you never tried to set up yourself to be truly happy for the rest of your life. So many people get stuck saying they wish they were successful, yet they never make any action to being successful. And that's all right if you fail, but it's the huge difference between failing and giving up, because when you fail, you can get up, and that's what it's all about when you fail, is getting up every single time after you fail so that one day you will become successful.
You know, we kind of have this idea that while you're free as a child, and then you, let me see if I can put this properly, that you have a certain delightful, wonderful, positive freedom as a child, and then that's given up as you approach adulthood. But the truth of the matter is that you have a lot of potential as a child, but none of that is capable of manifesting itself as freedom before you become disciplined.
It's like you're spiraling into something like that, and the thing that you're spiraling into recedes as you move towards it and gets more and more sophisticated and well developed as you move towards it, because you're not going to run out of goals, right? No matter how much you have your act together, there's probably, undoubtedly, 30 dimensions along which you could get your act together a lot more. Especially around dreams, but they're very hard to communicate because they're so specific to the context in which it occurs. They're very difficult to explain. So anyways, it's the synchronous event that drops all the animals to their knees. So there's the sun coming out and there's shining on them, and all the primates go mad for that, and that's of course exactly what we do when we applaud.
If enough people in the West, and then the rest of the world for that matter, but we're very polarized in the West right now, if enough people take responsibility for getting their individual lives together, then we'll get wise enough so we won't let this process of political polarization put us back to the same places that we went so many times in the 20th century. I don't see another antidote for it. It's not political, it's ethical. You often mention disciplining children so they behave. What is your advice for making them behave without resorting to corporal punishment? Well, first of all, it depends on what you mean by corporal punishment. Time out could be regarded as corporal punishment. It also depends very much on the age of the child.
Your attention, for example, is mediated by unconscious forces. And you know that perfectly well. And this is another Freudian observation. You know, if you're sitting down to study, and I think the answer to that is something like, so you don't suffer any more stupidly than you have to. And maybe so others don't have to either. It's something like that. You know, like there's a real injunction at the bottom of it. It's not some casual self-help doctrine. It's that if you don't organize yourself properly, you'll pay for it, and in a big way, and so will the people around you. There's this idea in Jungian psychology called the circumambulation. And Jung had this idea that you had a potential future self, which would be in potential everything that you could be, and that it manifests itself moment to moment in your present life by making you interested in things. you know, you find that to some degree in your own life, because maybe you've become very attracted to someone, even maybe you don't want to be attracted to the person, and then you find yourself, you know, texting them when you know perfectly well that you should be going to bed, and you know, you're in a grip of something, and you can't control it, and that's all part of the unconscious and all part of what Freud was studying.
I'm having a hard time disciplining myself. I particularly struggle to establish a schedule. There's two things you could do. First of all, the first thing you might want to do is figure out why you want to make a schedule to begin with. So you talked about goals. Well, what is it that you want to accomplish? You have to figure out what you want. And then you have to figure out how to decompose what you want into actionable steps, right? And those would be the sorts of things that you could put in a schedule.
And you could say, well, I don't care about that, but that's actually not true. You actually do care about that, because if you're in pain, you will care about it. And so you do care about it, even if it's just that negative way, you know. It's very rare that you can find someone who's in excruciating pain who would ever say, well, it would be no better if I was out of this.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know what you thought down in the comment section below.